Hi guys, welcome back. So today I've got another tutorial for you where we're going to be looking at creating this kind of scroll effect you see here. You can see as we scroll down the page, the images are kind of transitioning on this 3D perspective on the X and Y axis, and they're kind of giving this nice animation effect as they come into the viewport. Okay, so we're using like a smooth scrolling here again. But yeah, I think this is a really cool effect. We're also going to be looking at creating another effect as well. So if I just comment this piece out, I'm going to apply this effect. You can see we get the images when we scroll down, they're slightly tilted on the z-axis. Okay, so yeah, I think it's quite a cool effect. We'll be looking into using just creating this 3D animation using CSS. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and let's get going. Thanks. Okay guys, so to get started with the project, you can see I've just got the index.html file, a style.css file, and an app.js file here. I've also got an image folder with 4 images. So I've just found some random black and white images from unsplash.com for this project. Okay, so now if we come into our index.html file, come here. First we'll do is get a boilerplate up and running, so just emit that. And then we'll say in the head section, a link to the style.css, like so. And then in the body, come down to the bottom, we'll do a script source tag, add the source attribute in there, and we'll just link that to the app.js file, like so. Okay, and then if we come back up to the body, the first thing we want to do here is just have a main element. This element's going to be fixed to the screen, and we're going to have a scrollable div, so we'll say a div of a class of scrollable in this. And this is going to be the div we're going to apply the transformation on to make it look like we're actually scrolling the page, when in fact this div will remain fixed, and all the inner content will just be translated to make it look like we're scrolling. Okay, and then this scrollable section, we're going to just have 4 containers. Okay, so say .container. And then within this container, I'm going to have like an image wrap div. So we're going to give this a class of image item, -item, like so. And then in here, we just have a final div of class of image. So this image div, this will contain the background image we're going to use. This item image, we need this image to have a parent because we need this to have a 3D perspective to perform those kind of 3D animation effects, okay? So if we just copy this down 3 more times, because we want 4 of these. Okay, so yeah, there's 4 now. And I think we're pretty much there for our HTML. Okay, you can change the title if you want, just to say, I don't know, scroll animation. Okay, so next, that's it for our HTML. Let's go to our CSS. In our CSS file, the first thing I do, actually let's just open this in live server so we can see our changes being implemented. So if we just go to our CSS, we'll do the global settings. We'll say margin 0, padding 0, box size and border box, like so. And then if we come to the underneath this, we'll set the body. So we'll say here body, and then we'll just say background color. I want to give this a background color of black, so pure black here. Okay, and then if we come underneath this, let's get that main position next, that main element, sorry. So we'll say position, and as I said, this is going to be fixed. Okay, so basically when we scroll this page, it will just stay in place, this element. And then I'll set the top position here of 0, left of 0 to position it to the top left of the screen. And then we'll say a width of 100% and a height of 100 VH to fill the screen vertically. And then that's pretty much it for main elements. So if I just show you, that will fill the whole screen. To do a background of red, you can see that fills the whole screen. Okay, so now kind of underneath this, the next thing we want to do is set that scrollable div. Okay, so we'll say, we'll give it a class of scrollable, like so. And then in here, we're going to position this absolute. So this is absolute to the main element. And then I'm going to set the initial position to be top 0, left 0. And then I also want to give this a width of 100%. Okay, that's it for our scrollable element. And then next thing I do is select each of the 4 containers we have within this scrollable element. So we'll say container, like so. And then I'm going to position all these containers relative I'm going to then say a width of 100%, and I want to give these all these 4 containers a height of 100 VH. Okay, that's it for the container section. Now I want to just choose the image item. So say image.image hyphen item, like so, and then we'll say here position absolute, and then we'll say I want to just make these image items center to the container divs. Okay, so say top 50%, then we'll say left 50%, then we'll just transform, and then we'll just do a translate minus 50%, minus 50%. Okay, and then I want to give these image items a width of 300 pixels and a height, give it a height of 400 pixels. And then let's just set the background color just so you can see this for now. So say background. We'll change this in a second, but I just want you to see them on the screen. Okay, so obviously we can't scroll at the moment because that the scrollable position is fixed. Okay, so that's why we can't scroll to see the others at the moment. And then the last thing I want to do with these image item divs is we're going to say perspective 1000 pixels. Okay, and we're setting this perspective. This allows us to apply a kind of like 3D transformation on the images that the image divs that these image item parent divs are going to contain. Okay, and then I'm also just going to say transform style. It should be style, and I'll just say preserve 3D, like so. Okay, to allow this 3D effect to work. And then just so finally for our CSS is I just want to select the image divs which are going to contain our images. Again, we'll set the position to absolute. We'll set the top to 0, left to 0. We'll give it a width of 100% again, a height of 100% just to fill these sections completely. And then we'll say background position. That should be background position. And I'll just say center. And then we'll also say here background size of cover, like so. And then what that will do for the background images we apply to these image divs, it will just cover it completely and it will preserve the aspect ratio when we use this. Okay, and then I'm just going to just say the transform style will preserve 3D again, like so. One thing I also want to do here is in our scrollable element, I'm just going to say will change, and we're going to say transform here. And obviously we're doing this because this just optimizes this element to be transformed, because obviously we're going to be using this to scroll, make it look like we're scrolling. So that's why we're just applying this. It just optimizes the browser to perform this effect. Okay, and that's it for our CSS. So next thing we want to do here, let's come to our JavaScript next. And the first thing we want to do is just get, let's select the scrollable section, okay? Because I want to just get the smooth scrolling working on that section for the time being. So if we just say at the top here, let scrollable section equal document.query selector, and here we'll just say dot scrollable, like so. And then I also just want to select all of our image divs. So I'm going to say let images equal, and we'll do an array here, and do the spread operator, and then do document.query selector all, and then here we'll just say dot image. Okay, so that will select all of our image divs. And then I'm just going to set 3 additional variables here just for our lerp function, which we're going to use to create these kind of smooth scrolling animation effects. So we'll say let current for the current position of the scroll. I'm going to set that initially to 0. I'm going to do the same thing for the target. That's going to equal 0. And then we're going to have an easing variable that's going to equal 0.75. Okay, and that's just the kind of percentage we want to apply to our lerp function. You know, the lower the number, the slower the animation will be, the higher the number, the quicker it will be. Okay, and then next one I want to do here is just say document.body.style.height. So just to, before you can see at the moment we don't have any scroll bar. Okay, so what we're doing here is just going to set this, the height of the the body to the same height as this scrollable section. Okay, so we can then use the scroll Y position in our transformations. So we'll say document.bodies.style.height equals, we're going to do backticks here, a template literal. We'll then get that scrollable section dot get bounding client rect, and then we'll just say dot height like so, and then don't forget to add pics for pixels after. Okay, so now you should see we get that scroll bar appear in our browser, so that's all working. Next thing I want to do here is I'm just going to say let's set the background image. Okay, so we'll say images dot for each image. So each of our image divs, we're just going to set the background now. So we'll just say image dot style dot background image, capital Y image, and then we're just going to set that to backtick URL. We'll just point it to the images folder, and then we're just going to say here template literal. And we also just need to pass in the index with this function as well. Say idx here, and here I'm just going to say idx +1 dot jpeg. Okay, and now you can see our images have appeared. Okay, so yeah, we just passed in the index there. We've done the +1 here because we started off our image name in with this convention here. It doesn't start with 0, so therefore that's why we're using this +1 here to apply these images. Okay, so next, underneath this, next we want to do here is just create our lerp function I was referring to earlier, which we're going to be applying these kind of variables to. So we'll say function lerp, and this is for linear interpolation. This takes in a start, an end, and an ease variable. We'll just say t for now. And the equation for this is return, and we're going to say here start times 1 minus t, and then we want to add end times t. Okay, so just to show you what this does, if we say console.log lerp, and then we just give a starting number, which could be, say if we wanted to get the number halfway between 30 and 40, which is 35, we'll say the start would be 30, the end would be 40, and then to get half of that, obviously 0.5 is the percentage. So now we should get 35 logged in our console. Okay, so if we go to our console, we can see the number 35 here. Okay, so that's what this lerp function does. Basically, we'll place the current variable in here, and the target will be the window.scrollY position. And for every single animation frame we request, we'll always knock a percentage off, and basically the start position will gradually move closer to the end position. Okay, so it gives you this kind of nice smooth effect or smooth animation. So let's just create an animate function now. So we'll say function animate. And now the first thing we want to do here is we're just going to say, we're going to set the target. Okay, so that target variable, we're going to set that to equals window.scrollY. And then what we're going to say here is going to set the current variable. That's going to equal lerp. We're going to pass in that current variable. We're going to pass in the target, and then we'll pass in the ease variable, which is 0.75 for now. Okay, and then what we want to do after that is let's just transform the scrollable section first. Okay, so we'll say scrollable section dot style dot translate 3D here. We want dot transform. Make sure you spell that right, and then we'll say backticks translate 3D, and then on the x-axis, which is the first argument, we'll say 0. For the y-axis, we'll say a template literal. We want to say minus current, and then we'll just say pixels, and then for the z-axis, we'll just say 0. Okay, and the reason I'm using translate 3D here is because when we use 3D transformations, the browser offsets some of the kind of processing to the GPU, which makes it quicker for our browser and more performant. Okay, so now if I underneath this, we'll say request animation frame, and within this function, we're just going to recursively call this animate function over and over again. And then don't forget to call the animate function when we initially load the page. So now we should be able to scroll, and you can see that's working now. Our scrollable section's getting translated here. And what this, just to show you the power of this lerp function, if we just make this ease variable a lot smaller, so 0.075, you can see now, so it's 0.01 actually. You can see now we get the animations a lot slower. Okay, so adjust this how you want. I'd say the sweet spot's around 0.075. You get a nice kind of smooth scroll effect there. Okay, so next thing I want to do here is let's apply some animations to these images now. So I'm going to come underneath this where we translate the scrollable section, and then we're just going to cycle through all of our images again. So we'll say images.for each, and then image, and then the first thing I want to do here is I'm just going to say image.style.transform, and here I'm just going to say rotate X, and here let's rotate this. We'll do a template list rule here. Actually, the first thing I want to do as well is, before we do this rotation, is we want to get the we want to know where the top of the image is relative to the viewport. Okay, so we'll say let top equal image dot parent element. We want to get the kind of so you remember in our index.html, each of our images have this image item, which is kind of housing the image. So we want to get the top position for this image item. So in our JavaScript, I'm going to say image.parent element.get bounding client rect again, and then we'll just get the top. So I'm just going to say here dot top, and then so we've got the top position now. Okay, yep, so let's rotate X, and we're just going to say here top, I want to just times that by 0.1 for now. Okay, so 10% of the top, and then we'll just say deg after. Okay, so let's see how that works. Okay, so now you can see, okay, let's see what's going on there. So we've got the rotate transform equals rotate X. Let's do the rotate Y as well. We'll just say top, again template literal, say top times 0.075, and then we'll just say deg again. Okay, let me just let's just make sure that background's not white anymore. We don't want that anymore. Okay, yeah, that's working now. That's looking better. Okay, so you can see we're kind of getting those transformations applied. Let me just adjust, because it's not. Change that to 7.5 as well. Okay, so you're getting that kind of cool. Kind of what I want to do as well is just add another container underneath here. So I'll just say, just so we can scroll a bit more. Okay, and you can obviously tweak this as much as you want. So we could say, for example, let's make this quite, if you just left the top variable there, you'll get some pretty wacky transformations. Yeah, that's too much. It's a bit annoying. So yeah, I tend to say 0.1 times 0.1, so 10% of that, and you get these kind of cool, these kind of image scrolling animations when we scroll. Okay, and another thing I want to do, let's just set the background to white for now, because it might be clearer to see. Okay, yes, just as I say, play around with those numbers, just see what you like, really. Another kind of transformation I want to do here is we're just going to say image.style.transform. equals, and again we're just going to say here, I just want to rotate X, and I'm going to do a template literal here, and what we're going to do is take the target minus current, and then we can say, we'll just do deg for now. This is going to be quite violent at first, you can see, yeah, that's too much, but if we times this by 0.15 or 0.15, you can see, put that in brackets as well, like so. So now, that's probably too subtle. Let's so say it takes, you've got to find a sweet spot here really. Let's go for 0.75 maybe. You can see you get that kind of subtle 3D kind of tilt on the images as you scroll. Let's try 0.1, 10%. Yeah, so that's, as I say, you know, just play around with these figures, see what you like. But yeah, that's pretty much how you implement these kind of 3D scroll animations, guys. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me if you have any questions or comments, just feel free to drop me a message below. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Cheers, guys.